Tom Thibodeau is under fire by many New York Knicks fans as the Knicks defense has not been up to its normal standards, and that obviously has been throwing multiple fans into this weird, awkward stage of kind of getting fed up with the coach who has led the Knicks to multiple playoff appearances and their best showing in a very long time. But with the defense falling apart and with a lot of games dropping that the Knicks should be winning, many fans are feeling a little unrestful. And we're going to break it all down, talk about much more, whatever the comments throw at us as per usual. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest Happy Hour. We are back as per usual every Friday at 6 p.m., like always. And guys, we're going to jump right into it. I mean, Tom Thibodeau, he's starting to get some call-outs by the fans. Mitchell Robinson back on the countdown. We're close to Mitchell Robinson coming back, and that is going to have a huge impact on the New York Knicks' success. I look 75 years old right now for some reason. Maybe because I've had a stressful day. I don't know, but that's not really the point. What up to everyone in the chat? And basically, looking at the New York Knicks and where they are right now, we've seen some trouble. We've seen them be solid. Their offense is historically good. The defense is a little bit below league average. And if the Knicks figure out the defense, it feels like the team is just going to have this massive quick turnaround. And I personally think that this feeling of Tom Thibodeau being under fire, getting called out by Knicks fans, it's something that I am not really for. I was vehemently against the Knicks hiring Tom Thibodeau. Now I'm a huge supporter of him outside of the minutes per game thing. So what we're looking at is a guy in Tibbs who really, I think he deserves more credit than what the Knicks fans have been giving him. But a lot of people in the comment section have been saying this is Tibbs' fault and that he's incompetent and that the Knicks would be better without him. So what better way to talk about, or what better thing to talk about on Happy Hour than what we're seeing in the Knicks Digest comments? Matt, Dariel, y'all are back as per usual, and we got a lot of comments already that we're going to jump into. But what are your guys' thoughts on some of the Knicks fans not being thrilled with where Tibbs is at right now coaching the team?
Matt, you want to go first? Because I messaged Chris in the group chat and I told him I'm coming in hot, but it's not really regarding this topic.
All right, I'll go first. I'll go first.
Go ahead,
So Knicks have been bad for multitude of years here. No surprise. Now we're finally supposed to be on top, and people don't want to wait anymore. People thought that after we got Mikal Bridges, after we got Karl Anthony Towns, it was just going to be boom. We're going to be just as good as the Celtics. But the thing is, the team needs to mesh. Something we've talked about over and over and over again on Knicks Happy Hour. I understand the minutes. Tom Thibodeau is a better basketball coach than I am. So who are we to tell him that those minutes are wrong minutes? So I don't know. We've seen Julius Randle get hurt in what some people have been saying has been the right time to bench him. But it's no secret he plays the guys too many minutes, but maybe there's a method behind the madness. The only thing I do know is that Tom Thibodeau is a better coach than I am. He has taken the Knicks from the very basement of the league into the top of the league. Right now, we have an offense that Tom Thibodeau has never had before. We need to, rankings-wise, being a top 5 offense, he is not known for offense. You have to imagine that as a defensive head coach, he's going to scheme something up to figure out this defensive struggles that the New York Knicks have had this season. He's got elite defensive players coming back like Mitchell Robinson or just joining the team like Mikal Bridges. He's been on the team for about 19 games, however many games the Knicks have played so far. You got to give him time. 15?
25.
25. Okay. So Tom Thibodeau, just give him more time. I know we said 20 games, but they're a little bit ahead of where we were predicting them to be at 20 games. So I say give him more time. I understand why people are not happy with him at this present moment, but you just got to give him a little bit more time. You have to imagine he's going to get something under control with the defense.
Listen, man, the whole thing about Coach Tibbs and the fans being mad, it's kind of like in the minutes being played. What do you expect him to do? The main players coming off the bench, you got Precious Achiuwa, Jericho Sims, Cameron Payne, and Deuce McBride. Out of those 4 players, the only 2 players that I trust is Cameron Payne and Miles McBride. And honestly, out of those two players, I kind of only trust Deuce. Precious Achua, you guys know how I feel about him. Jericho Sims, he's pretty much done. That's a complete hand wave. So playing the starting five anywhere from 35 minutes and up, like what do you expect him to do? Now, depending on what we do this upcoming trade deadline, if we do anything, and depending on the players that we get back,
We
maybe it's a
will
different
go into that
conversation.
also, Charlie Knicks, because you mentioned the trade deadline.
Sweet. So depending on the players that we get back, then we could see like what Tibbs is doing with the bench and how he's using the minutes. But we're not there yet. So we can't really talk about something that hasn't happened. But what I want to get to, I wanted to give my 2 cents about that because I didn't want to just hijack the topic. But now that I gave my 2 cents about that, what I want to get to is the loss on Wednesday with the NBA Cup. I am so upset that we lost, bro. I really thought we were gonna leave Wednesday with the W, and I did a preview video that morning talking about the Atlanta Hawks and how they've been coming on strong with Trey Young, kind of like turning the corner and trusting his teammates. And I knew it was gonna be a good game, but I really expected the Knicks to win. And I'm just disappointed because like I keep saying, in, video out, just how we haven't had anything to really celebrate since 72, 73, when the last time we hoisted Larry O'Brien Trophy. And I really wanted the Knicks to at least get to Vegas in the semifinals because now the Milwaukee Bucks, the Atlanta Hawks, the Houston Rockets, and the OKC Thunder, they're going to have all this media coverage on them. The Malika Andrews, Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A. Smith, inside the NBA crew, they're going to be there. They're going to be talking about all these players. And Jalen Brunson and Cat, like, just their names being in the limelight, I really wanted that. I really wanted that for us. And it's not the end of the world. Obviously, the season continues, and we still have a chance to win the NBA championship. But it just would have been a nice momentum builder for the beginning of the season. And I'm just thoroughly disappointed in that we lost. And also, yo, are we not gonna address the elephant in the room? Trey Young has been owning us, bro. I don't. It hurts my soul to say that, but I'm a realist and I keep it straight 100. He has been owning us ever since we lost to him in that 21 playoffs in the first round. He's been embarrassing us. He's playing CeeLo in the middle of the court when he wins. He's not the villain, but he's pretty much. He says that it's a love-hate relationship with him and the Knicks fans, and he doesn't care, but he'll take that mantle if he wants to. But yo, he's been owning us, bro.
He
When are
didn't
we
beat the
gonna?
Knicks on Wednesday. Trey Young
Nah, he
didn't
could.
beat the.
Nah, he kind of did. He
No,
kind
it
of
was
did.
Clint Capella.
In the
It's
third quarter,
always Clint Capella.
Trey Young really, I think, killed us because he really started to distribute the ball more in the third quarter and get his teammates a lot more involved. Yo, this season, Trey Young needs to be in the conversation for just not definitely not MVP. Chill out. I'm not going there. But he needs to be in the conversation a little bit more for just someone that's just improved his game and really turned the corner from being like a good numbers, bad team kind of guy to being like a good distributor. And we could touch on this topic a little later in the live if you want to. But from what I saw on Wednesday and from what I've seen from the Atlanta Hawks as of recently, I think they're going to be a very, very interesting team in the playoffs because I think they can match up with Boston, they can match up with us, they can match up with Cleveland, Orlando when they get healthy. I think they can match up with Orlando, and Atlanta's not being talked about a lot.
Boston.
So, Dariel, I thought I'm going to let Chris talk about the matchups after I go because I can tell he wants to. But I thought after that Wednesday night game, I really thought you were going to come on this live and like start victory lapping because the way we lost was something that you've been saying with Karl Anthony Towns. That game, Chris, you were at the game. Did it or did it not have a playoff atmosphere to it?
Oh, it totally did. I was there, but
Exactly.
also it didn't have the exact same.
I know not the exact same, but a little bit, more so than a regular season game.
Yes.
But where was Karl Anthony Towns at the end of that game, Dario?
Nah, man, you can't. Okay, so of
He
course
was on the
that's
bench
fair.
because Tibbs
I get
overplayed
it.
him.
But that's exactly what I was gonna say. Another thing, something else that I took away from the game is Cat needs help, bro. Yo, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, they're attacking the rim so hard, and Cat is the only person, and he's the last line of defense. And he fouled out of the game. He had 5 fouls with maybe like a few minutes left in the fourth quarter. But like, what else? We can't expect anything more from Cat. He's playing out of position. He can play the five. I understand that, but that's not his natural position. And even though his skill set, it lets him really, it lets him be really good in that position. but we really need Mitchell Robinson back and or make a move for another solid big backing up Cat or to put in that starting five. So I don't want to put all the blame on Cat because he gave it all he had, man. But at the same time, like if you're asking Cat night in and night out to be this last line of defense where whoever beats the man off the dribble in the perimeter is just straight attacking him night in and night out, like that's a lot to put on his shoulders. And then on top of that, he has to offer us something on the offensive end. Like you guys know me, I'm a critiquer of everybody that I see play basketball, and Cat is not. I'm going to critique Cat, but I also got to keep it 100. Like we're asking him to do a lot and it's not 100% fair to him.
Yeah, and
All right.
just I will get back into the matchup thing, but we do have to answer our comments. And I want to talk to our commenters because we got some cool conversations going. So, look,
I mean, Charlie's right. Until playoffs, we're probably not going to see the full potential of this Knicks team. Mitchell Robinson's going to come back eventually, and when he comes back, we're going to see the Knicks team adjust and be different. But what we're seeing now is a Knicks team that, frankly, they just don't have the exact defense they're going to have. Like Dariel said, you have to either wait for Mitch to come back or make a move, and kind of just moving into that, as Charlie also mentioned, do we see the Knicks making any more trades in the next month or so, and for who, what is it, and what are the Knicks missing right now? There's really three problems with the Knicks. You have two guys who can rebound the ball in Towns and Josh Hart. Mitchell Robinson solves that. You desperately need rim protection. Mitchell Robinson solves that. You could use a scorer off the bench who isn't a 6'3 guard. Mitchell Robinson does not solve that. That is the one problem that Mitchell Robinson does not solve. Now, here's how you do this. You either take Mikal out at 6 minutes or 5 minutes left, have him play a lot of minutes in the playoffs, and Mikal will play a lot of minutes in the playoffs, and have him be the primary scorer off the bench. Obviously starter, but be the bench unit scorer, I should say, because they're going to run 8.5 guys in the rotation. You'll get a ninth guy getting 7 to 11 minutes a game. Outside of that, you're going to get an 8-man rotation out of Tom Thibodeau. And this is imagining that everyone's healthy also. It might shrink down depending on injuries. But with that, what we're seeing is a Knicks team that is going to really, I'm about to yawn. Wow, I'm exhausted. They need someone to score off the bench, is what I'm saying. Now, Landry Shamet is a good scorer off the bench. The problem is he's 6'4". So is he a 6'3 scoring guard? No, he's a 6'4 scoring wing, which is pretty damn similar. So you need either Mikal to essentially be the bench unit scorer, and he plays with the bench unit a lot, because Mikal's a very good shot creator when he's not the focus of a starting NBA defense. Outside of that, Mikal works as the primary. But you have to stagger, and in the playoffs, mind you, one of Brunson or Towns will be there the entire time. One of them is going to be on the court, no matter what. They did that with Brunson and Julius the one year when Julius was injured and playing through it and not playing very well. They're going to do it with Brunson and Towns. One of them is going to be on the court at all times. They're going to prevent that. The Knicks know what they're doing. Tibbs does know what he's doing with rotations for the most part. Not when it comes to minutes played, but with what the Knicks do. You could use that. Why are we letting Trey roll dice on our side of the on the logo? Look,
Playing CeeLo, baby.
I initially I didn't know what Trey Young was doing because I'm not rich, so I was pretty high up in MSG, and I just saw, to me it looked like Trey Young was doing something a little bit different. But that's all I'm gonna say.
You thought he was taking a dump? You think he was taking like a
Nope,
fake dump?
nope. He thought he was doing something with his hand.
Yeah.
Dariel, think about the movements he was making. Chris was sitting over his left shoulder and high up.
I think I know what he thought he was doing because I thought that for a hot second, but
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
say it on the
is
air.
he what is happening?
Nah.
Right
If
now?
he was doing that, that would be a fine. That would be kind of legendary though.
Well,
Yo,
there was that
but,
time that Dwight Howard blocked a shot, and I cannot believe I'm gonna do this on stream, but nah, screw it. Dwight Howard did that on the court to the ref.
Did he get teed up?
No, he did it to the ref.
Wow.
Dwight Howard's a nut, dude. But
Yo, wait, Chris, did you think? Let's get to it. Did you think Trey Young was doing what people do in their solo time.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Got
Yes.
it. Got it. I knew it. Because I thought that for a hot second, but then, post game show and all that, I saw what he was doing. Yo, the matchup thing. When I said that Atlanta Hawks can match up with Boston, I still think they'll lose to Boston, but I don't think it'll be as easy as I thought it would have been in the beginning of the season. I think they could match up with them and take it to like 6. Honestly, that's how good I think Trey Young has turned the corner. I mean,
Yeah.
see what happens for the rest of the season.
I think the Hawks would get absolutely brutally murdered by the Celtics.
Brutally murdered by the Celtics.
They
No, it did
got
go
to
to
be
6
brutally
recently.
murdered. They got to be.
It's
They
the
gotta
defense.
be what, Matt?
It's the defensive thing.
Beaten.
You're dragging Capella out of the paint, and Capella's only useful when he's in the paint. Given when Capella's useful, he's real useful, and
Facts.
he was, in my mind, the main reason why. This sounds insane. I don't want to say the main reason. That's the wrong words because it was Trey Young. Capella was. What are you, Dariel? What are you doing? You're cracking me up.
No, because I'm thinking about the matchup. Look, Trey Young.
I just see this.
I know. No, literally, because I'm just thinking. I'm just doing
Gotcha.
weird things. But listen, Trey Young is distributing. You got DeAndre Hunter. You got Jalen Johnson. You got Bogdanovich. You got Dyson Daniels. Like, you got players that can match up with the Boston Celtics. They're not going to be an easy
Trey
run.
Young can't guard anyone on the Celtics.
That's a fact. But I'm just
Just
really
got Drew
impressed.
and Derek White beating him up.
I'm just really, really impressed about how Trey Young. Hopefully, he keeps it up because I want Trey Young to be one of the players that's highlighted in an NBA conversation because I just think that he's a lot better than what people think he is. And I'm just happy to see, and hopefully he keeps it up. I'm just happy to see that it looks like he really changed his mindset of being like just a good numbers, bad team kind of guy to really just honing in and being like, like I'm not winning anything. And if I'm going to be successful, I really need to start distributing. So shout out to Trey Young, even though I still hate you for eliminating my Knicks. But I just like to see that development in players. So
I can respect that take because Knicks fans do hate Trey Young, and he deserves it.
I hate him
You
as
know,
a Knicks fan. I love
professional
him as
from
an
a
NBA
professional.
player.
We hate him professionally.
100% professionally. We
I
don't
think
hate
he's
all
awesome for
personal
the
stuff.
NBA. I think he's great. I love that he plays that villain role. I think it's awesome.
Facts. We need more of that. But
Yeah.
Trey Young has been owning us, and we need to keep it real. He's been owning us.
So
He's won 33%
I've been thinking
of his
about this.
games he's played against the Knicks in his career.
Yeah, no, his record is bad, but he's good in the big games.
Exactly.
He wins. So
It's
it
also
feels
the Knicks
like
happened to have been missing Mitchell Robinson in all these games. Now, given it's a constant, but at the
Literally.
same time, whenever Mitchell Robinson does not lose to Trey Young, he's 11-3 against Trey Young in his career, and the reason is because Clint Capella has been the X factor. He was the X factor in 2021. He's the X factor on Wednesday, and the reason from that stems because they run the same pick and roll and they have 3 guys out there, whether it's Jalen Johnson, one of Matt's personal heroes, whether it's DeAndre Hunter, whether it's Bogdanovich. Like, they have guys who could shoot, and that's all you really need before. Also, Matt's a Duke fan. That's why I said that.
he quit. He quit on Duke, bro. He quit on Duke.
Oh,
no,
yes, he did. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
He's,
I was-
no,
I
he
was
still
wondering.
counts, but like barely.
I
Wait,
forgot.
what do you mean he quit? Like, what do you mean?
He stopped playing.
He stopped playing. He got injured a little bit, and then they weren't
Protected
doing so hot
himself.
that season, so he left. So
He
he
protected
started.
himself for the
He
draft.
declared for the draft, started getting ready for the draft instead of playing.
Yeah.
Was it like halfway through the season or not even?
Over halfway, I think. It was nearing
No.
March.
I wouldn't say it was nearing March. It was somewhere around halfway.
Well,
Interesting.
regardless, that happened.
He
but my point stands.
he definitely quit though. Definitely quit.
Those players that you mentioned, Bogdanovich, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Chris, being able to shoot, yeah, they can shoot, but they're not just shooters. They're able to put the ball on the floor and create for themselves and create for others. That's why I just think, man, that matchup.
That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying it gives the ability for Clint Capella to roll off screens, and the Knicks, without Mitchell Robinson, don't have a big man who's athletic enough to deal with Capella. When Mitch guards Capella, Capella looks like he's a 56-year-old man. He looks like he's Mike Tyson boxing Jake Paul. When Mitchell Robinson isn't there, Clint Capella just looks like what Mitchell Robinson does to other teams. It's just that. Mitchell Robinson...
Mitch is never there, man.
He's played entire seasons with the Knicks where he's been.
No, he
there
has.
counting the
I'm just
playoffs.
saying, it's just as of late, it's just like, dude, you're just never there, bro.
He's playing 20 minutes max when he's back. You need to play young guys no matter what. No cap space or assets either. Mitchell Robinson will play more than 20 minutes max. It's just going to be a slow integration to Orgosaurus Rex. Also,
Super
shout out,
slow.
You've been here for a while.
We're so confident Mitch coming back healthy after 3 surgeries on the same foot. Do you think he's going to be rebounding and blocking after all those surgeries? That's the real question. Is Mitch? There's the fear that he's washed because of these injuries, which
They
is fair.
said the report recently came out that it's like towards the end of January that he's making his return, right?
Yeah, I did a video on that, and it absolutely tanked. We're killing it on the views right now, Knicks Digest. We're just plummeting.
So if he's
It's not your guys' fault.
gonna
You guys
be
are here now.
if he's coming back towards the end of January, we're really not going to see, and if everybody stays healthy, we're really not going to see what this team can offer until like March, after Mitch gets like at least a month of up and down practice, up and down games, getting his stamina, getting his feeling back. We are so far away to seeing what this team could really be. So we're okay. Our heads are above water right now, so we're good. Yo, as we're all talking right now, we're talking about trades that the Knicks can make, who for bench players, all that. This is so random. And I'm not for it. Let me just say, I am not for this trade. But seeing how we're talking about trades, there is a particular player that has been on the NBA internets, specifically with Shams.
Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Not getting
so many questions. What do you, if we were to trade for him, I don't want that to happen. If we were to trade for him, what do you think he would ask, the Miami Heat would have asked in return? Like what players, picks?
There isn't one. There's no trade package. There's no contracts that work. Jimmy makes around $40 million per year. There's just no OG. That's the only one.
No.
That's the only one. It's
yeah,
OG or Towns. Those are the only 2 guys that make enough money to match with Jimmy Butler. It's an impossible trade.
I just brought it up because
It's fun. It's fun conversation.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm just thinking about like this trade deadline stuff. But all right.
No, but something that Charlie did ask is, do we hold our breath on Shamet?
I think the answer is yes, because we know that Tibbs likes Landry Shamet. We know that Tibbs likes him. We know Leon Rose likes him. We know that Shamet's not afraid to shoot the ball and that he shot the ball well in the preseason. That gives the Knicks more scoring. Landry Shamet's good when he's on good teams, and he's bad when he's on bad teams, because he's the type of role player that only fits on a good team. I love the idea of Landry Shamet on the Knicks. I loved the signing when it happened. I love it now. I want a bigger human being, though. Like, literal taller. Like, I don't love the idea of TJ Warren, I'll say it. I don't think he's a great shooter because he's not a great shooter historically, and that freaks me out. But I'd rather a backup forward so OG and Mikal aren't playing a ton of minutes. And this does give us a good time for a little transition.
TJ Warren plays good in Orlando in 2020. We need a time machine.
Facts.
You
Hear
feel
me
me?
out. Teams are already at 11:59 of the first quarter. Defender right on Brunson.
Landry Shamet doesn't move the needle, man.
Yeah, but he's not supposed to. He's a 9th man.
No, I understand. I know. I'm just like, if he comes back healthy, and then I'm just thinking about him, Cameron Payne, Deuce McBride. It's like, I mean, I guess it's a nice collective group for a bench. That's not a bad collective group. So I mean, that's the best of what we have, I guess. So we got to roll with it.
Dorkosaurus, the reason that the Knicks would not trade Jericho Sims and Matt Ryan for Jay Huff is you're actually right that it does work out financially. Jericho makes a little over $2 million per year. Jay Huff makes $4 million, and Matt Ryan makes a little over $2 million. The problem is Matt Ryan's on a non-guaranteed deal. If the Knicks guarantee Matt Ryan's contract and then trade him away, it becomes weird because then you're giving 2 for 1. And the Knicks don't get any money back, meaning you cannot waive Matt Ryan to sign Landry Shamet, which is what the Knicks are going to do, is they're going to waive Matt Ryan to sign Landry Shamet. And you can't do that if you just wasted all that money on Jay Huff. You then don't have money to sign anyone. You're stuck at 13 players, which is illegal in the NBA, so the Knicks would be forced to trade someone else, Precious, for someone who makes less money. And more than just less money, you need to trade him for someone who makes around $3 million or less, so the Knicks can even just sign a 14th guy, and then they won't have 15 guys come the playoffs.
Hey, shout out Dorkosaurus. Dorkosaurus said he'd rather have anybody on this panel coach the Knicks than Tibbs. Shout out, baby. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he could say that, but he's wrong. I wish I could say he was right, but he's not correct.
I'm dead.
I agree, though, with Charlie that the way, like,
we need to defend better from the jump, like, play man-to-man, like, glue the guys the way that there's just a defender on Brunson's hip the entire time. I think the Knicks defense is going to get better. I think it's waiting for Mitch. And here's the thing. The Knicks are a lot less confident in Mitch the more time he misses because they're going to trade him in the offseason or next season anyway. And they don't want to trade him this year because the downage in trade value.
So they're going to wait. They're going to wait. The problem is they want to know if they could trust him coming back into this season. If he comes in early February, trade deadline's in middle February. So you're at this point of they're not going to know if they can rely on Mitch as their primary rim protector.
And that's going to freak the Knicks out. I do have a feeling, just because Charlie asked it at the very beginning of the stream, and just as I said, we would get into some trade deadline stuff, because in 2 days, trade season officially starts. Balloons. That's the trade deadline balloons. In 2 days, the trade deadline starts for everyone, because players who were signed can now be traded. They all become eligible on December 15th. There's actually a trade today, absolute blockbuster deal between the Miami Heat and the Indiana Pacers, as Thomas Bryant went to the Pacers, so league's over. Pacers obviously won the NBA Finals off that. Nothing else we could do but cry. But look,
who did he get?
Second round pick.
That's it?
Yeah, Thomas Bryant's not worth anything.
I mean, it's Thomas Bryant. He's tough in 2K. I don't know about real life.
I like his energy, man. I remember when he was with the Lakers and Anthony Davis was out for like 2 months and he was a starting big.
He was working,
Dude,
bro.
He was working, bro. Like,
Bro,
I like his energy. I feel like he gets a bad rap. Matt,
He's a
what's
hard-nosed player. It's
No,
just
he's the
not-
easiest pickup in any 2K team because he's like gonna be your last guy, costs no money, and for some reason gets every rebound, blocks every shot.
Dude.
I like his energy, man.
All right,
Mark
Chris. Someone in the
Jackson.
chat was talking about how the elephant in the room is the fact that Mikal Bridges is not playing well enough, and no one's talking about
It's
it.
Charlie Nix. It's our moderator.
Yeah, I believe
But-
it was Charlie Nix. I
saw-
wasn't
I
sure.
saw
So
the
I
comment. I was gonna get there.
yeah.
We're
here now.
We've been talking about it. Every video that Chris and I put out, I feel like we always mention Mikal
Isn't
Bridges.
he in the
shooting.
thumbnail of this? I'm pretty sure I threw him in.
Yeah, he is. That too.
Yeah, like
Okay, but that doesn't
obviously
mean he's
it's a
not
problem.
playing bad. Yeah.
Matt, what?
It's not that he's playing badly, it's that he's being used incorrectly. Mikal Bridges is one of the best defenders in the NBA, but the Knicks are using him at an incorrect way of defense. Mikal is a guy who is great at defense, but the way he plays defense, he's great as a he's not great as a point of attack defender. He's great as a
team defender.
as a help defender.
He's great against isolation. He's not great at being the point of attack guy. Whoever's bringing the ball up, Mikal Bridges' job isn't to guard that guy usually. He's better on the help. He gets so many steals from guys who like he's picking up doubles from, and he forces bad shots in one-on-one isolation settings. He's not good at guarding the point of attack guy because he's weirdly not that great at navigating screens. It's the biggest weakness in his defense by far. Like, the dude's better at protecting the rim than he is navigating a screen. Like, Mikal's an interesting player because he's such a great defender, but it's with the caveat of, okay, we absolutely need you to go out there and essentially lock the best players up. But if they're the point of attack guy, it becomes this weird thing of we're better off having Josh Hart on them. Like, Josh Hart guarded Trey Young for a few possessions last game, and he looked really good because Josh Hart is a brick wall. You run into him, Josh Hart's not moving.
30.
He's going to rough you up. He's going to give you more physicality and problems. And then you want Mikal Bridges on the help because he's excellent at picking passes out of the air. He's a complete free safety with that. And at the same time, he's great at getting behind you, getting steals. He's just great in the help defense. And then if you're in an ISO and you have Mikal on you, you're trapped. It's just having him as your point of attack guy, defending a Trey Young, defending any point guard is not going to work. That's just not how Mikal plays defense, and Tibbs is using him that way, and it has led to some struggling on Mikal's part. Now, the other issue is Mikal's not shooting great. He's shooting 34% from three, which is down from every other year in his career. Now, that being said, he shoots 45.5% in the corner, which is some of the highest in the NBA. So Mikal's corner three-point shooting is phenomenal. The problem is The rest of the shooting is not great from three. He needs to get that under control, and I do think that's something he's going to get down, because if he could hit corner threes, it's not like he's just going to keep bricking from everywhere else. I think Mikal is struggling to find his role with the Knicks because Tibbs is playing him in a different role than he's ever played before in his career. He has to find that hybrid between what he did on the Nets and what he did on the Suns, while also hopefully Tibbs will adjust and have Josh Hart be the point of attack defender instead of Mikal, or OG, depending on if maybe it's forward or something, or just OG in general, because OG's still the best defender on the Knicks.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys a question, but before I do that, just give my 2 cents since we're talking about Josh Hart. Yo, Josh Hart, bro, if you're watching this somehow, some way, stop complaining about every single foul that you're not getting called. Like, as of late, I'm seeing him, like, within the last 2 weeks, every single time he's driving and he's doing his left-right gather up, and he's always complaining to the refs. Chill out, bro. This is New York. Well, I'm in LA, but you guys are in New York. We don't complain. Second, Mikal Bridges, I'm just happy that he's still shooting the ball. Yeah, we know he's struggling from offense. We know he's struggling defense, but I'm happy that he's still trying to get out of the funk. So salute to you, Mikal. Now the question that I want to ask you guys is panic meter of Mikal Bridges, 1 to 10, 10 being I'm super duper worried and panicked about Mikal Bridges figuring it out this season. Where are you guys? I'm at a 3 or 4.
I was going to say the exact same thing, 3 or 4, because we have so many years of Mikal Bridges being a borderline elite role or an elite role player, or sometimes even more than that with Brooklyn. And we've only had a 25-game sample size of him looking like, oh no, he's not looking good. So I really do think, yeah, it's a little weird that he came out the way he's came out, but I am a 3 or 4 because I'm not a 1 or a 2 because I'm not positive he's going to work it out. But I do have a really good feeling based on his track record and based on what we've seen out of him as a player. Great in college, of course, great in the NBA in 2 different spots. I have a feeling he's going to be able to find a new role for himself here on the Knicks.
He'll be fine. Chris, what about you?
I'm not worried. I think he's going to figure it out. I mean, I get the arguments from the comments like
what number would you
Charlie
get?
saying Mikal, he looks like a mini Durant on the floor at times,
and then he has a horrendous game that makes the expectations a little more sour. All respect, he's still a great player. Yeah, I think Mikal's struggling to figure out his role. I think it's tough for him right now. This is a new team. It's another time he's on a new team. He's never been with guys like Brunson and Towns. This is a different kind of team. Like, yeah, he's been with great scorers and Devin Booker, but now he's unequivocally the third option. It's not like how in Phoenix there was one scoring option who was top. Now there's 2 superstar scoring options. Mikal's never played with that before. It's tough to figure that out. It's tough to kind of get there sometimes.
He's never played with a player like Brunson. Have you checked who was on his Villanova team?
You know what I mean?
Just kidding. I do know what you mean. What number
Like
are you giving
NBA
it though?
level,
1
yeah.
out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Especially because for a bit of time, like, Brunson wasn't the best player on those Villanova teams.
Well, also Brunson is not the same player he was at Villanova. His name is the same, and it's the same, person, but he's not the same person. He's not the same player. Number, Chris.
He's
Stop
not the same
ducking the question.
No, I said
Number.
3. I was going
Oh,
with this.
my bad.
Is Mikal the third option?
How dare you, man? There isn't really a third option at all. There's hardly even a first option. It's just there's 4 guys on the court who can all seemingly go off for 20-something points per night. And in Brunson and Towns' case, there's 2 guys who go for 40 as well. The Knicks are doing this by committee this season, and I think we'll see more established roles in the playoffs. It feels like the Knicks just are kind of like gotten to that stage of we know we're going to make the playoffs and we're going to be a little light in the regular season despite the fact that our coach is playing us 700 minutes a game. That's kind of a vibe I've been getting recently because it just feels like they're just not as locked in as they are some other times. Like, there's times when they lock in, but there's also times they don't. Like, we've still seen them play to their level of competition this season, which is something that we've seen from this team last year and even the year before. So I think it's a little bit of that.
I want to ask you. Damn, so many things I want to get to.
Also, real quick, great comment by James Bison. I hope I pronounced your name right. Panic levels at 2 for Mikal. His percentage is only going up from 3. Yeah, they just they freaked out and they heard that there was Mikal Bridges talk and they actually hate Mikal Bridges and don't want him around. So now there's just gonna be 3 Chris's. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna take a moment and I'm going to re-invite them back to the Zoom because that's what we have to do. Guys, I'm cheap. I'm not going to lie. I'm a cheap human being. I don't pay for Zoom Premium, and now we're paying the price. And in all fairness, it was Dariel's Zoom, so I didn't know this was coming at all. But yeah, guys, how we doing? We all good? I hope everyone's good. But yeah, no, on the subject of Mikal, I'm gonna keep talking to you guys anyway. They'll be back in a second. Dariel's already back. See? Yeah, well, you know it's yours. I accidentally just sent the Zoom link to my girlfriend, so I don't think she'll join. I think she knows what's happening right now. So I throw it in the trio. I'm like, yo, give me your hot take on the Knicks. She will just leave. She'll just leave me entirely. All right, now let me go as I get this back in action here, and we're good. We are once again back, guys.
Wait, so before it knocked all of us out, I was gonna ask you a couple of things. Yeah, let me ask this one first. The fans are worried about Mikal Bridges. I get it, and I'm not saying that this player that I'm about to bring up, I'm not saying that we should be more worried about him than Mikal, but we also have to keep it real. We got to keep it funky. Jalen Brunson's play on Wednesday, not great. Didn't show up. It's not that he didn't show up. The Atlanta Hawks, especially Dyson Daniels, did a great job. Jalen Brunson has a lot of problems when he has lengthier players on him. That might be his one and only Achilles heel. But yo, you didn't help, bro. Like, you have 14 points. And we got to keep it funky, bro. You're the best player on the team, in my opinion, and you didn't show up. So we should talk about that a little bit more than Mikal Bridges' shooting woes. I think Mikal's going to figure it out. But Jalen Brunson, like, this season has been very interesting for him because you can obviously tell that he's trying to incorporate Cat within the team. I think he's actually taking a step back and trying to, like, really focus on that, which is commendable. But, like, dude, NBA Cup quarterfinals, and you have 14 points. Like, what's up, bro? Matt, what do you think?
Dude, are we still talking about Mikal Bridges?
No, we're talking about Jalen Brunson.
No, Jalen Brunson, the slow starts, he's done it before. We've seen it before. We know who Jalen Brunson is. It's almost the same thing with Mikal Bridges. That's why I thought you were talking about him, because same thing. We know who he is. It's a new team for everyone. We gave him 20 games. Maybe they need a little bit more time. They have more wins than we thought they were going to have through 20 games. So I just like all the fans in the comment section, just like all the fans around the world, want to see this Knicks team gel immediately and be really good immediately. We want to beat the Celtics when we play them again. I understand that, but it's just not possible. The goal for this team is to be, one, healthy at playoff time, and two, everyone have the best chemistry that they can possibly have for the playoffs. That's what Tom Thibodeau is trying to work out. Jalen Brunson, yes, he's starting slow, but we know exactly when it's crunch time, he turns it on. We saw against Brooklyn in the second game. Super clutch shot
against the Raptors.
Super clutch shot. We saw against the Raptors too. We know who he is.
I'm just saying we need to bring it up. I'm just saying we need to bring it up because he had a bad game on Wednesday. We just got to bring it up. We can't just like completely ignore the elephant.
I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking you.
No, I know.
For saying anything here, because I'm sure you think he's a great player, and I'm sure everyone watching this thinks he's a great player.
He's the best Knick since Patrick Ewing.
You're absolutely right, Chris. Better than Melo. Good. Yeah. Okay. I know Melo's your guy, so I just had to make sure.
Melo's my favorite player of all time, but I mean, and also Melo was thrown into terrible situation after terrible situation after terrible situation. But
more important, Melo question: what's a better celly, the 3 of the dome or the Jalen Brunson?
There is such an. How dare you even ask that question?
That's actually a pretty good
the
question.
answer. It's clearly my celebration when I run down the court and take my pants off.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say when you run down the court and blow out your knee.
That is what happened. Yo, Dario, I dislocated my kneecap. I've actually dislocated it 3 times. The last time I did it, we were in college. I'm just running down the court and my knee just explodes.
Oh my god.
It sucked,
bro.
dude. Dude, it was so loud. It sounded like fucking. Too
Like
late
a
now.
pop?
It sounded like someone just hit wood with a baseball bat. Like
I didn't hear a sound of it popping. I just remember you like rolling around on the ground and no one could do anything. Everyone's like, "Yo, are you good?" And like
I was like,
everyone
"No."
knows you're not okay.
Was
I'm
Chris
far
like
from
yelling in
good.
pain or what?
Like no,
Yes,
I mean,
dude.
like
Nah, I don't think I was
he
screaming.
wasn't. He was yelling, but he wasn't like making a fool of himself.
It was more just like,
You know what I mean?
It's more like the ah.
Yeah, it's like the Peter Griffin grabbing his knee. You look kind of like that.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that.
Listen, man, that's one of the downfalls of being so tall. We're just so more susceptible to injuries. It sucks.
True.
But
I mean, are we really calling Chris 5'3", 5'4"? We're calling that tall?
Yeah, dude. Dariel's met me. He knows the secret that I'm secretly 5'3".
yeah, man, I got to keep it funky, man. Chris is part of the tall gang. You heard?
I mean,
gotta-
I don't. Does 6 feet count as a tall gang or not?
I mean, if we're talking about Chris's actual height, yes.
Well, no, Chris is no. I understand.
mean,
No, I'm saying I'm 6 feet tall. Do I count?
Oh, you?
Matt, you're
Yeah.
5'11" and 3/4.
That's not true.
I'm sorry, man. You're my boy, but it's got to be like 6'3", the minimum.
I mean, if you're calling it a tall club, I can get behind that. So I'm perfectly fine. Like,
Also-
you don't have to preface it with anything. We're good here.
Yo, Dariel. So Matt's been the same height throughout all 4 years of college we were together. He didn't grow in college, like same height. And our roommate, him and I are in COVID lockdown for like 6 days. We're just chilling in essentially this hotel room, nothing to do except weed and video games. That's all we had. And dude, he just says about Matt, who I'm not kidding, he is 6 feet. He's exactly 6 feet. And our roommate just says, it's like day 5. He's like, yeah, Matt's what, like 5'7"?
Oh God, give
He
me
truly believed it and violated the hell out of Matt.
facts. Violated, bro. Took off like 5 inches, dog. That's messed
Yeah.
Dude,
up.
if he like said like 5'9" or 5'10", I'd be like,
Facts.
no, but that makes sense.
God,
Dude, this
those
kid
are-
is 5'5". Like, how do you not realize I'm not 2 inches taller than you?
Those are fighting words, Matt.
Charlie Nix, if you live in New York, I'm down to run 5s.
He's a wrestler. He's a wrestler, so I can't fight him.
Charlie Nix?
No,
Oh,
our
Mario.
roommate.
Mario. We
Oh,
could
all right,
say
yeah.
his name. We could say
All right,
Mario.
Chris. Yeah, Chris, take a comment out here. Let's bring back to the Knicks.
Yeah, we're bringing it back. We just had, guys. I mean, if you guys have been watching Knicks Digest, you see me talk a lot, and even in videos, I veer off into the most random stuff. Sometimes that has nothing to do with it. But I agree with Nick Yak saying that we should try playing it should really be Huck Porty because it should not be Jericho Sims. But he did add Sims' name. What happens if we see Towns play the 4 with one of these guys as a center? I love the idea of trying it. Specifically Huck Porty, who's a very, very promising playmaker at the high post. I mean, Huck Porty, like, not to just say, oh, German number 55 of African descent. Let me compare him to Isaiah Hartenstein instantly. But they play remarkably similar brands of basketball. Huck Porty is so ready to put the ball on the floor. From the limited stuff we've seen from Huck Porty, he does resemble Isaiah Hartenstein in a lot of ways. I mean, if we had Hartenstein next to Towns, that would be gross. Huck Porty's not nearly as good as Hartenstein is right now, and maybe he'll get there. But I want to see Huck Porty and Towns play together. I think it would be interesting because Jericho, I mean, Dariel, you were the one who really, really brought this to note for me because now I look for it. You're right. He looks at the bench constantly. He doesn't have any confidence in himself at all. And when he's setting the screens and flying off him before he's even done setting it, so it's not doing anything, like, I don't think it'll help the Knicks. I think it'll harm the Knicks offense. I think Huck Porty will not harm the Knicks offense. I think Ariel Huck Porty's high post playmaking gives a lot more spacing, and I'm really curious to see how he would look with Towns. I understand the problem with Tibbs and Huck Porty is that, well, one, this summer the Knicks want to sign Huck Porty to a bargain deal, and it's easier to do that if he didn't get any actual minutes. But also, we talked about this last week, but also, he doesn't ice screens. He doesn't, which is just sending the ball handler to the baseline. Like, he doesn't do that. He's way too willing to switch onto the ball handler instead of sending them towards the baseline in trap defense that Tibbs likes using the ice method. So it becomes this strange situation where Tibbs will not play Huckporty until Huckporty gets it down because he doesn't want Huckporty to think that he can get away with stuff with the Knicks. And I won't lie, I respect the hell out of that from Tibbs, that he is making sure that Huckporty's knowing how to play the Knicks style of defense, that when it has rim protection is one of the best defenses in the NBA. So I respect what Tibbs is doing. At the same time, I do want to see Huckporty get some minutes. I think he could solve a lot of problems. We've seen Precious and Towns together, and it's helpful on defense because Precious is a solid rim protector, but he's 6'9". Like, he's really more of a power forward still. I want to see what happens when Towns plays as the power forward with a center who has high post playmaking and doesn't have to just sit on the block the way that Mitchell Robinson usually is, just chilling on the block or at the top of the key. Mitch likes to chill at the top of the key a lot because then he could run in and sneak in to grab offensive rebounds, and that also creates a bit of spacing, but no one's like, oh, Mitchell Robinson's at the top of the key, I have to go out there, he's going to just cash a three. Also, completely off topic, and this is just kind of a rant now, I hate when centers get the ball at the top of the key and they're wide open and they don't shoot it. You're an NBA player. Shoot the ball.
I've been saying that since birth, bro.
I think it's the stupidest thing that coaches don't let big men shoot the ball. Like, oh, well, Mitch only shoots under 50% from the free throw line. Why would we let him shoot threes? Because he's a wide open NBA player. Why wouldn't you? See if it works. If he's bricking a bunch of opens, then yeah, tell him to knock it off. He should be allowed the chance, like every NBA player, to prove they can hit an open jump shot because they're one of the 450 people in the NBA.
Dude, the fact, you know what's worse than that? Is they don't even look at the rim, bro. Yeah. How do you catch the ball? No,
Mitch does. Mitch looks at the rim.
I don't understand how you're a professional basketball player. I don't understand how you made it this far and you get the ball and your first thought is to not to put the ball in the bucket. Your first thought is to give a dribble handoff? No, bro. You catch the ball, you look at the rim. If you have the opportunity to put the ball on the floor, I don't care where you are on the floor. If you're at the free throw line, you're not that far off. Bro, I've been saying this since birth, bro, and I hate that. As far as the idea of playing Huckporty and Towns, I'm definitely up for it. I'm definitely open to it. I like that. I just obviously I don't think Tibbs is gonna do it. But even if let's say Tibbs gets froggy and he actually does it for like a game, he's gonna give Huckporty 5 minutes to show us that he can do it, and then he makes one mistake, Tibbs gonna take him out. But let's say Huckporty actually does well in those 5 minutes. I'm just thinking about. I just don't know. He's a rookie. I mean, he's a rookie. I got to give him a little slack too. I just don't like how the projection that I'm giving him playing against other starting bigs in the league for this season. Even if Tibbs actually does it, I don't think it'll work, man. I just don't think Huckporty's ready for that.
I agree with Dariel because we've seen Ariel Huckporty give out some good minutes for the Knicks. But can we trust him against a big-time big man in the playoffs? Not yet. I haven't seen enough yet. I've seen enough that I like him a lot for the future, but not for right now. Dariel was talking about cutting him some slack because he's a rookie, but no, you can't cut him slack because he's a rookie. If he's a rookie, then don't play him. Like that's the way you got to see it. But
also, big guys do take a longer time to get integrated.
Yeah. So Knicks 100 a game had a really good comment, Chris. I'm going to shoot it right at you. He said, we're missing the point of having Karl Anthony Towns. You can't put him out there with someone who cannot shoot the ball, meaning he wants all 5 guys to be able to shoot the three if we're going to be running Towns, and that's how you get the most out of Towns on offense.
I mean, he's right. He's certainly right. Because
but if he's right with that, then why do you want Mitch in at the center if Mitch can't shoot?
Because the offense will still be good enough and the defense just takes that much of a leap further. Where I think instead of having a top 1 to 3 offensive rating, you'll have a top 5 to 7 offensive rating. And you might have higher because remember, Mitchell Robinson's the best offensive rebounding center in basketball. So you're going to get open looks from 3. Why are you shaking your head?
I didn't forget. I never forgot.
Oh.
No, I was agreeing with you. With you.
And then on top of that, your defense just gets so much better because you can fully just hide Towns on defense. And I like hiding Karl Anthony Towns on defense because then he gets to give more energy into offense. And Towns is such a talented offensive player. I mean, he's one of the most skilled 7-footers in NBA history. Like, let the man cook. Let him cook on offense. Have him play. First of all, he's better at perimeter defense than low block defense, which makes absolutely no sense at all. But that's just the world we live in. As Dariel said, Towns is probably a natural power forward. Craziest thing is, I want to be like, no, he's not. And then you look at it. What position did he play in Kentucky? Power forward. Could his center shoot at all? No. Willie Cauley-Stein wasn't, unless I'm dead wrong about this, Willie Cauley-Stein wasn't hitting threes, dude. Yeah, Dariel's like,
You're not
absolutely
wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong about that at all.
Yeah. So Towns can work if there's if there's a guy who can't shoot on the floor. Yes, it caps his offense a little bit, but it helps the defense so much where it's worth it because how talented Towns is and how many offensive rebounds Mitchell Robinson gets, it'll lead to so many kickouts that you'll get open threes anyway, and you could hide Towns on defense, giving him more room to work on offense. So yes, I agree. Towns is best in a 5-out system. Now, if somehow, some way, and I'm just going to go ahead and say the finances don't work, and I don't think they would agree to this trade, but if the Knicks could figure out a way to get Miles Turner onto this team, that would literally unlock this team like nobody's business.
Unfortunately, that is a fantasy, seeing how
Yes,
they're a
it
contending team.
absolutely
Yeah.
is.
Of course, that
Or
is
10 and 15 contending team.
That's the golden team. That's the golden ticket. Like, obviously, the guy who can protect the rim and shoot the three. Just
Yeah.
think about that for a second, though. Can you imagine
Yeah.
what this team could look like?
If they could figure out a way to do it, and I imagine the Knicks have probably looked into it because it's just, if we're sitting here saying this, I imagine the best president the Knicks have had in the last, since Pat Riley has a pretty good idea on what he's doing also. So I imagine
Miles Turner has been in trade talks for not super recently, but in the past couple of years. It was him and
always
Buddy
been,
Hield always in trade talks.
Yeah.
So it's
Especially with
definitely
Lakers.
not the most far-fetched
Yeah.
thing, but if it could, it's definitely not possible. But if it would be, oof.
I'd say never. The Pacers are real bad right now. I almost said Dariel. Tyrese Halliburton has fallen off a cliff. No,
Everyone's
'cause
named
you haven't
Dariel
fallen off a
today.
cliff.
Every single NBA player is named Dariel tonight.
'Cause
This
this
is
is
how
Dariel.
Go,
how it goes.
baby. Living
Instead of Knicks
vicariously
Digest
through all the
Happy Hour, it's Knicks Digest Dariel Hour. we had that
Dariel
one
Hour.
time. We had the solo Dariel live. It cooked.
Yeah, the solo
Like 200
Dariel.
views.
I had to carry us for one day.
You cooked.
Going back to the whole Karl Anthony Towns and natural position, and if we had like players that have shooters around him, yo, you guys are gonna kill me, bro.
Oh, jeez.
It's a little cat slander. It's not even. I don't even know if I want to call it slander. It's just something that I see. Yo, something that just irritates the hell out of me about Cat when he puts the ball on the floor. And
I
think
also
I've
have
said
a
this.
question for you after, but sorry.
No, that's all good. I think I've said this in I think almost every video that I've done solo with Chris and on the happy hours. Yo, when he puts the ball on the floor, he does that stupid horse galloping, ginormous 2-step Euro step. Yo, it's so easy to guard him, bro. He puts his head down and he drops his shoulder all the way down to the floor. Like, I'm pretty sure no NBA players, well, a majority of the NBA players don't watch this because we are gonna blow up soon. But I feel safe to say this. When Karl Anthony Towns puts the ball on the floor, all they literally have to do is not be lazy, move their feet, get their 2 feet in front of Karl Anthony Towns, flop a little bit, exaggerate the Karl Anthony Towns lowering his shoulder, and they'll get an offensive foul. Guaranteed, bro. I'll put my savings up for it. Every time he puts the ball on the floor, I'm worried that he's going to get an offensive foul. Luckily, the refs have been kind to him this season, and obviously I'll take that. But, oh, man, it's just little things that I'm seeing from Cat. I'm just like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, I don't know, that's just something that came to mind. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't think you're completely I don't think that take was that far fetched. Me and Chris thought it was gonna be something much worse. Like we thought you were gonna say something crazy about Cat. But I got a question for you about Cat. Do you know how many people average more rebounds per game than Karl Anthony Towns this season?
My guess would be 3.
3 players,
what?
Chris. You know
Sorry.
how many players in the NBA this season? You might know this at being the stat head that you are. Average more rebounds per game than Karl Anthony Towns this year. 0 is what Chris says, and he's right.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right.
13.6 rebounds per game.
Yeah,
What's
Karl Anthony
Jokic at?
Towns. He's what?
What's Jokic at? Anybody know?
13.6.
No,
No,
that's
Jokic.
Towns. That's Towns.
No, they're tied for first.
Really? He's up to 13
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Good for Jokic.
That worked out pretty well.
He's pretty good.
I
at
figured
basketball.
because his season is ridiculous. I was like, Jokic is definitely got to be one of, if not the only player averaging more rebounds than Cat. But okay, interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
I didn't realize he was rebounding like that this year. Everyone sees the scoring. I knew he was doing very well rebounding. I didn't realize it was like best in the NBA well.
You're talking
Okay.
about Cat.
Yes.
I have a question.
I'm not giving Jokic more props. We gave him all his flowers all the time.
Now,
No.
Charlie Nix asked this question, and I'm going to direct it to Dariel because he started with, I know you guys play ball. I play in a rec league, and, well, I guess Dariel's retired, but, like, as
I
the
play in my
resident,
backyard.
as the resident actually played professional basketball person here, it's pretty sick that we have one of those. It's pretty sick that you did that, dude. He
I'm just
asked,
so
am I
embarrassed.
crazy
But
for watching and knowing how naturally I or you guys would defend? Watching these guys not hedge screens / go over screens, they're not under screens, it's driving me crazy.
Wait, so what's the question?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
read that
Charlie,
again?
this wasn't your greatest grammar of all time here. Unless I'm misreading this.
Which you probably are.
I'm
But,
not
I mean,
great at
just
reading. I've
Your
never
track
been,
record. Your track record.
My track record
On,
for reading.
on Jets Digest, there's a lot of comments, and they're just all related to you misreading quotes.
Dude, all right, in fairness, I don't always read the Jets Digest quotes before I say them. On Knicks, I usually read them more. Not always. But on Jets, I
Dude,
misread
go find the
quotes all
comment.
time.
Go find the comment, Chris. I was trying to read it.
Am I crazy for watching and knowing how naturally I or you guys would defend? I think he's more asking us, like, if he... I think he's just more saying
No,
he
to me,
understands.
that sounds like he's looking at our faces in these pictures,
I think he's hearing our
and
opinions and is
predicting
doing
how we
this.
play defense.
I don't think it's
okay.
judging us by our looks. I think it's about how we would play defense. But I agree with him. The way that the Knicks don't really fight over screens is terribly annoying. It is.
I mean,
That's
not
rough to
fighting over
watch.
screens is just lazy, usually. Or, I mean, sometimes it's scheme, sometimes it's schematic,
Yeah.
but a lot of times it's just lazy. Unless you run into actually, like, there's, like, Steven Adams, where sometimes it's just not scientifically possible to get around the screen.
what's the question? I'm still lost. What's the question, bro?
Charlie, if you're still in the
Honestly,
chat, please
yeah,
repeat that
Dario.
or something. I'm kind of confused.
I'm not, Dariel, I'm not positive what the question was.
No, I'm
Does it
looking at
sound
it.
like-
I'm looking
It
at
sounds
the
like something-
comment. Yeah, I think he's just asking us like how we would guard screens.
Which is a fun thing to talk about. I won't lie. I'm very.
No, it
100%.
does sound like he's talking about us,
Also,
though.
if you guys are paying attention to
Yeah.
the fantasy basketball league that we have, I haven't won a game.
Well, yeah, Chris, because you don't set your lineup. Dude,
Damn,
Chris
I-
drafted all these set it and forget it players, but then he forgot to set them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he just went right to
kinda
the forgetting.
Dude,
I bet-
I make multiple YouTube videos a day. I'm hiring people. I do a lot. I'm working a lot.
Don't care.
I've been wanting to bring that up in like every duo video and every happy hour, but I keep forgetting. I was on a
Fine.
4-game winning streak to start the season, and then I'm just been like little by little.
Dude,
I'm
I have
getting to 500.
Zion, Paulo, and Paul George. So ask me how my season's going.
Jeez.
Dude,
Well, you definitely need to trade Zion. Like he's just not gonna play this season.
I got a Zion jersey and a Paulo jersey in my closet. So,
So you-
they're
you're
going
keeping
nowhere.
them.
Yeah, they're going nowhere.
I respect
Spe-
the loyalty.
Thank you. Speaking of going nowhere, where did Chris go? Because he didn't go nowhere.
I don't know,
All
but
right, we'll have to ignore that.
so Charlie Nix actually said, "Okay, I'm just asking if you guys were on the floor. Do you think you can defend better naturally?" Okay, so against screens, if we were on the floor, do we think we could defend screens better? Yeah, I think Matt, you said it. I think defense, and if you're hedging screens, if you're going under or whatever, is kind of like just about energy and your laziness. I think I would do a better job, but then honestly, you gotta take into account the 82 games that they play, bro. Like, dude, in college and in Mexico, like college, I played what, 30 games. In Mexico, I played around the same, and I was so tired during some games. I didn't want to go over, and that was only a small amount compared to 82 games in the NBA. So,
Dude, I feel like if we're on the floor, the action, like they talk about your set defense, you bring the ball up and you get into your set offense, your 5-on-5 offensive defense, it would be a 4-on-5 because we would still be running up from the other side, bro. We'd be too slow to even get back.
Yeah, no, but defense is definitely energy, bro. That whole screen stuff, like, I get it.
But dude, even in like that first game against the Celtics, when you see Karl Anthony Towns not running out to shooters who are hitting threes over and over again, and they're still not getting on the threes, it's frustrating to see. I think the Knicks are going to do a better job because, unlike my favorite team, the New York Jets, you know when something's wrong, you know the coach is going to absolutely tear the players to shreds in the locker room at practice. He's going to yell at them. The Jets head coaches, they're nice and nice. They're nice to their guys. Yeah, no, Thibodeau. I'm not even talking about. I know it made it sound like I was talking about the whole staff. I'm talking about Tibbs. Tibbs is a lack of effort is never gonna fly with Tom Thibodeau, and I love that about him.
Yeah, facts.
Yo, Knicks 100 a game. How does Kolek disappointed you? What were you expecting out of a second round pick?
Yeah, I mean, he's just not a guy for this season. That's why they have Payne. Tyler Kolek is going to be
any
important
Chris? What rookie other than Victor Wembanyama? What rookie is a rookie for that season? Like the season they were drafted. Maybe Dalton Connect.
Okay, I know we're NBA draft truthers. You and I. Most rookies in the top 5 to lottery are used pretty early. Not going to say they're going to be good.
I understand that, but exactly. But they're not good. You look at Alex Sarr on the Wizards. How many wins do they have?
The Wizards.
Do they have a third win yet?
I think they got 3 or 4.
Yeah, they got 3. They got 3 wins.
Actually, they did have 3 wins. They beat the Cavaliers twice, and then they had 3 wins for a while.
Sucked, dude. This was a bad.
I'm not talking about just this year. I'm talking about
Facts.
when you draft a guy, especially. Let's talk about it. Makes more sense because Kolek's in the second round. Second round picks. Are you ever drafting a second round pick to do anything that year?
Absolutely not.
No.
Exactly. So I'm not. You use that
team.
as something to say about Kolek, and I'm not gonna let you use that point because we know it's not correct.
I was bummed out that Zachary Richache played well against the Knicks because I've been very much Zachary Richache's the worst first overall pick since Anthony Bennett. So
well, the thing is, you're still gonna be correct. Like they drafted him, and they pan to the front desk on draft night on the broadcast, pan to the front desk, and their job is to hype him up. They go, this guy could be the next Michael Porter Jr. And I'm like, whoa.
Dude, I think of that Stephen A meme where he's just sitting there and he's just like.
Yeah, I know. The straight face one.
Yeah, the straight faced Stephen A meme.
You're talking about, Chris, you're talking about Zachary Richache, the game he had prior to the NBA Cup game, right?
Nah, the game against the Knicks also, when he just played well against the Knicks. Like
on Wednesday?
I'm pretty sure his stat line was like terrible.
No,
His
his defense
horrible.
was nice.
Okay.
No,
was nice.
When you're watching him, the eye test.
He passed
solid.
the eye test well.
Eye test solid.
Right.
I didn't know the stats.
I know, Dariel. The stat sheet was horrific. Yeah, Chris is not Coach K. He can't be a fan. They're not running up the stats to him during timeouts, which is something that happens at some Duke games, and people are complaining about it.
No, they do that with most college games. No. Like the media, I know you give it to the media booth. I think they give it to the coaches also.
No, Coach K is not a coach.
Yeah, he was retired on the sideline watching the game. That was
I
hilarious.
really thought you meant while he was coaching.
I'm talking about this year against. I think it was Arizona. I'm not sure who it was, but they were bringing him out. It was definitely not Arizona. It was definitely against Auburn. It was at Duke, but like still, that's bringing it to
let him live.
Effectively a fan.
But he's Coach K.
Facts, he's a legend. But Zachary Richache, the only game that they had prior to Wednesday's game, the NBA Cup game, it was November 6th. I did a video on it, and he dropped 33, bro. He had a really good game. And of course, it was against the Knicks, which, I don't know, man. There's like some sort of curse there. Like, just players that have no...
players just kill Knicks.
They just completely have the game of their career.
Dude, there was a game where Marco Bellinelli on the Hornets hit 9 threes against the Knicks. Like, Bellinelli.
What? Right. Exactly.
Chris. All right, let's hit these comments again.
We just hit a weird, awkward silence for the first time in happy hour history. We just all sat there for a second.
I mean, I know. Usually, you just start rambling about something.
I mean, you want me to go off on something? Give me a Knicks player. Give me a Knicks player right now. Anyone. Name a Knick.
Dorkosaurus Rex.
He's not a Knick. He's in the comments, and I love him because he's been one of the, or her. I think it's a guy. I guess I don't really
Knicks
know.
100. Knicks 100 said he wants Kolick running the show and finding bigs.
Okay,
Let's
well we
simmer
have
down.
No, dude,
point
no.
guards.
No.
Yeah, let's
Give
simmer
me a
down.
Knicks player. Let me go to town.
Of all time or currently?
I don't.
All
care.
time.
I
All
was
time.
thinking currently, but
No, all time.
oh, you're
Why?
gonna give me like Ronaldo Walkman or something.
I was gonna say something about Melo, but no, we've been over this a million times.
Yeah, we did the Melo thing. We did a whole video on Melo.
Chris, do you remember where you were during Linsanity?
I mean, sure. It was like a month-long thing. I was in school.
What season was that? What year? Exactly.
Chris.
2012.
Chris,
11,
tell us what
12.
year that was.
2011, 12.
Yeah. The Knicks were the 7th seed that year. Linton played really well, stopped playing well, got injured, never really came back, and then the Knicks didn't match his restricted free agent
Right.
thing because
Melo
$7 million
sabotaged
was
him.
like,
Got it. Yeah.
no, not exactly that. Actually, Jeremy Lin just started playing like ass because teams started game planning for him, and
Right. Melo was
There went
selfish. He
Jeremy.
wanted the spotlight. Got it.
been
All right,
proven wrong.
guys.
by multiple people.
Next game. Next game is at Orlando. How are we feeling after watching the Knicks lose to the Pistons and lose to the the Hawks? How are we feeling
Orlando's
about
good, so the
Orlando
Knicks will
Magic?
manage to beat them because that's what happens. The Knicks just play to their level of competition. The Magic have looked good without Paulo and Franz, so shout out to the Magic. Great job by them. Those fans deserve a good team. Plus, then you get to hear the song.
I was gonna say they definitely have a good song.
They do. Have a
Like
good
I don't know a lot about the fans, but I
That
know a
was
lot
number
about
one
the
on my
song.
Spotify Wrapped.
I don't
What's the
believe
song?
you.
It's the Orlando Magic song. It's absolutely not, dude. That'd be insane. That would be
Okay, I was gonna say.
insane if that was.
But the
Wait,
thing is,
I
it's just
have-
insane enough for you. You could have done it. I would have to imagine the Julius Randle song appeared there somewhere.
What are we talking
Julius
about?
Randle
What
by
Julius
Marlon
Randle
Craft
song?
is not in my top 5. But
What
I do
are
listen
we
to it once
talking
in a
about?
while. Marlon Craft, legendary Knicks fan, man. It's the
I'm
guy.
gonna let you guys have it. I'm so lost.
There's a song called Julius Randle, and Chris
Grabbed a
likes
flick
to
of
sing it
Steve
sometimes, but he's
Novak.
not drunk right now.
On Saturday, but didn't want a signature. That's fair. You don't need the same Magic songs.
Anyway, Matt, going back to your question, talking about Sunday's matchup against the Orlando Magic. Listen, man, I wanted to be in Vegas. I wanted the Knicks to be in Vegas.
I don't really
Yeah.
care anymore. I cared in the moment. I don't really care.
No,
I care about the
no,
way
no.
the Knicks
Cope.
lost. I care
Cope.
about that. I
I
care
care
about the fact
more
that the
about
Knicks
that.
lost to Trey Young for the first time in a while, and then everyone freaks out on social media.
I care
He
more about
finally
how
beat
they
the
lost.
Knicks for the first time in a long time.
I care more about how they lost, but I still,
Yeah.
I would have liked to see them in Vegas. Definitely. You can't sit here and pretend like you didn't.
It just sucks.
It
It
would've been
just sucks
cool.
that
Oh,
it feels like Trey Young owns us in the biggest moments against us, playoffs, NBA Cup. It's like, come on, man. Like, let's have some pride. And I'm not saying that somebody should have tackled him when he was playing CeeLo at half court at the end of the game. I'm not saying somebody should
Yeah,
have tackled him.
dude.
but
People are saying stop him. Like, what do you want them to do? Like,
Hartenstein
Yeah.
said that he wouldn't have let Trey Young do that.
yeah, definitely
wish we
not
had
tackle him,
Hartenstein.
but like, you know, give a little shoulder bump or something. Like, Doug, like, no, you're not gonna come here and disrespect us. So I really didn't like that, but I don't know, man.
Would you guys want to see the first round of the playoffs, like a 3-seed Knicks versus 6-seed Atlanta Hawks?
Oh yeah, I'd love it.
Be super fun, especially if the
I
Knicks
think that
have
would be-
Mitch.
That would be a ton of fun. I think that would be a ton of fun.
I would want to see it, yeah, from the fun perspective. But if we're talking basketball, like we opened up the happy hour, like Atlanta Hawks, man,
No.
they could give problems. I'm not saying that they'll beat us, but I think it would be a lot more interesting than people would think. That's all I'll say.
I think it'd be interesting.
Dariel, who do you think the most fun playoff matchup, first round potential playoff matchup for New York?
How about the Boston Celtics? Let's get them out of here, baby. Let's show them that they're fake champs, baby. Jason Tatum, you should be the best player on the team. But Jalen Brown is the best player. Let's get Cat back in the narrative as the best player in the NBA. Let's go, Boston, baby.
The problem with that is we would need a low seed.
Yeah, we
Two.
need to start falling apart.
Yeah, 2. I definitely don't want to potentially get bounced in the first round. And 3,
Run towards the smoke, baby. Don't run
would
away
be-
from it.
It would be way more
towards
lit for the championship, for the Eastern Conference Finals to be that. That would be way cooler, in my opinion. But Chris, who do you want to see in the first round? fun perspective, not basketball matchup perspective.
Fun perspective, I'd like to see the Wizards.
Nope. That has to be realistic. And you can't just pick it because they're going to be bad. And because it's an easy win.
My
No.
serious answer would probably be Cleveland. Maybe Cleveland.
I don't really want to see Cleveland just
No,
because
I don't want to see them either. They're playing amazing right now.
they're playing well right now. I don't like the way the Towns matches up with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, really. Philly would be cool, as Carl Knight mentioned, and that's realistic because Philly will bounce back to a degree. I don't know if Philly's going to make the playoffs. I hope they don't because their Twitter fans suck.
Dude, that would be
It would be
amazing
fun
if
Cavs
they
are
did.
frauds. Cavs are frauds.
I agree, Dariel. I'll be honest. Also, guys,
Exactly.
we got 5 minutes left of this. Then I have places to go, people to see, naps to take,
Babies to kiss.
babies to kiss, obviously.
President Gallagher.
What's up?
President Gallagher.
President Gallagher, man. Dude, I'm going to be the mayor of New York, and it's all going to start with Knicks Digest. Guys,
Everybody
remember,
say
Chris
the
Gallagher for
best-
mayor.
Everybody say the best Knicks player of all time on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Clyde.
Patrick
Patrick
Ewing.
Ewing. Go.
To Clyde.
No, I did, but I meant, if I'm being honest, I meant to say Ozzie Schechtman because he scored the first points in Knicks history. So
Dude, just has to be different. Just has to be different.
no, but in all seriousness, it's Clyde.
No,
Hit the greatest
Clyde
Game
and-
7 in NBA Finals history.
Chris, I was about
Won
to
them
say,
a
has he done
championship.
anything in Game 7, though? And because I knew you were just waiting for it.
Yeah, 36 and 17, 9 rebounds. You can't beat that. Greatest Game 7.
Clyde and Willis Reed, they have an argument to be had.
Willis Reed has an argument, but
100%.
I think Clyde was the better player on the team. As Clyde said, he's like, yeah, they call it the Willis Reed game. I call it BS. Like, he's like, I had 37 and 16, and they call it the Willis Reed game. He had 4 points and came out in the first quarter. Like, he's like, I stayed in. And Clyde, mind you, guarded Jerry West during that. So, it's Clyde. That game makes him the greatest Knick of all time, especially because Patrick Ewing got bodied around by Elijah Wan. Elijah Wan cooked Pat Ewing. There's no way around it. Ewing just got straight up outplayed by Hakeem Olajuwon.
I'm not mad at it.
I think you got to give it to Clyde. Though Ewing
Plus,
is clearly second.
he's still working for Knicks fans on MSG Network.
He's the
announcing
man.
game.
Knicks fans
Yeah.
of all generations know Clyde better than they know Pat Ewing.
That's true.
Some
That's
people
very
were too
true.
young for Pat Ewing. Some people saw Clyde and Pat Ewing. Now some people who missed both of it, like Matt and I, we know Clyde because we hear him all the time. Clyde got us a ring. He got us 2 rings. He's the guy.
I miss Patrick Ewing too. Don't get it twisted. I'm not that old. I was around for like the super end of Patrick Ewing. but
Yeah,
don't
like
really
I
count that.
more mean you were alive during Ewing is what I was saying. I know you're not like much older than us. I know you're like literally
Oh
you're
my
what, 32?
God. 4.
34.
Actually,
yeah.
no. I'm actually 35. What, next week or 2 weeks?
Hey, I forgot your birthday's right near Christmas. I knew that, but I forgot that. Oh yeah, we'll do a Dariel birthday party stream.
I'm dead.
We're gonna wear birthday hats.
I'm with it.
Knicks organization. They don't give Clyde enough credit, like honestly.
Facts.
If anyone deserves a statue outside of MSG, it's Clyde because he's given his entire life to the Knicks. Like from
Literally.
calling games, winning them to NBA Finals is Clyde deserves
Chris.
the trophy. Yeah.
Dorkosaurus. Mellow narcissist ball. His points shouldn't even count towards any team.
True. He should have just given it to Langston Galloway instead. He should have given the ball to Ramon Sessions. I actually think I got that one wrong. Sessions and Melo weren't teammates. Damn. He should have given it to Chris Copeland and let Copeland go off instead. He had so many options. I mean, damn. Like, one of his second best scorers, Raymond Felton. Wow. Guys,
Tony Douglas.
We got a minute of Tony Douglas.
Is it time to just name random Knicks players? Are we that?
We're
far
gonna
into the
name
stream?
random Knicks players so you guys disappear off the Zoom. So we
Jose
got 90
Calderon?
seconds. Jose Calderon, nice poll.
What's that white boy's name that looks like Ben?
Sweet Lou Odmanson. No, Mindaugas Kuzminskas.
Oh
Guys, if you guys know who Mindaugas Kuzminskas is, go to Raptors Digest right now and tell me that Ben Rogers, the host of Raptors Digest, does not look exactly like him. It is insane how it's like creepy.
He looks like Ben on steroids, literally.
Dude, he does. He looks like if Ben was literally a foot taller than he is.
I remember watching him play. I liked how athletic he was. I mean, obviously he wasn't that good, but I just
Facts,
like
Kevin.
his makeup.
Big 30-point game from Chris Copeland. What a legendary time.
Chris Copeland.
But yeah, look, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up. It's been a fun hour and a half, as per usual, for Knicks Happy Hour. In case you're wondering, no, I did not drink this week because, well, I didn't feel like going out and going to the 7-Eleven across the street, if I'm being honest. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the happy hour. It's always a fun time getting on here and talking. We're probably going to start doing some more live streams that are not just happy hour in the near future. Maybe some post-game ones. I have planned this out and I'm now announcing it. There's going to be some watch-alongs coming also. We're going to watch games, mainly important games for the most part. Maybe do a little bit of a stream after. Dariel will be here for that. Matt may be here also. We'll figure it all out. But guys, hope you enjoyed the happy hour. There they go. It's just me. So, guys, now let's get into it. Is there anything you guys want to hear from me before this thing ends? Let's do a 5-minute Ask Chris a Question session. Let's do that. Let's get rid of these guys. See, this is what I want it to be. This is really what I wanted. Was the Ask Chris section. So what up, guys? We getting any questions? I don't see any questions. It might just be time to wrap it up instead of Ask Chris. Melo, love him, but he's underwhelming. Sucks. It's just not really on Melo. When you listen to him talk, Melo he needed a better situation than what he got, and that's not his fault. Who can we get that could play the 4? It's tough, man. It's tough. They're going to have to use Precious to trade him, is my guess. I really want Melo to come off the bench. Same, I wish Melo, came off the bench last season or the year prior and got to do a little farewell tour for the Knicks. I do imagine he'll get his number retired soon, though. Guys, I'm not even going to lie. I'm so tired. I don't know why. I'm just exhausted today. I didn't sleep that well, and it's so hard to sit in this chair and talk about sports. I'm not trying to complain, but I am really tired, so I'm a check out of this one. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the live streams. Great time as always. Have a great day.